Cthulhu might be considered the most powerful Lovecraftian creature out there, but I think there's a couple of terrifying beings that could get the best of him. Yog Sothoth is an unfathomably powerful deity, and one of the most powerful of the outer gods, which are a race of ancient deities who wield great power, size, and intelligence, only surpassed or possibly equaled only by Azathoth himself. Yog is the largest and most intelligent, dwarfing the famous Cthulhu in the same scale that Cthulhu dwarfs humanity, and is a truly cosmic menace that is beyond mortal comprehension. Yog is the embodiment of all time and space across an essentially infinite number of space-time continuums. So for all intents and purposes, he's connected to the multiverse. By the way, he's the grandfather of Cthulhu and grandson of Azathoth. This creature is not only an all-knowing, all-seeing, and all-powerful being, but also, like the fellow outer god Nyarlathotep, has been known to possess numerous avatars, such as the Lurker at the Threshold, and has served as the godly father of Wilbur Whateley and as the Dunwich Horror, and also many more. He's pretty terrifying, and he outranks Cthulhu. According to Lovecraftian mythology, Azathoth is the omnipotent blind idiot god, or nuclear chaos. Which, kinda funny. This is a deity that is so mind-bendingly terrifying that even other cosmic horrors cower before its chaotic presence. Az, for short, is a prime example of the sheer existential dread that Lovecraft has woven into his mythos. So at first glance, it's kinda like paradoxical, but this is the most powerful entity in the Lovecraftian universe, even though it's kind of mindless. Okay, imagine a cosmic being of inconceivable scale, occupying the center of the universe, mindlessly gyrating and flailing like some demented celestial mosh pit. This dance is the chaotic source of creation, a horrific symphony that shapes and reshapes reality without purpose or intention. Az's terror lies in its indifference. It's not malicious, it's not benevolent, it's beyond any comprehension of morality or reason. It's an entity of pure, incomprehensible chaos, and humanity's existence is but a fleeting note in its eternal cacophony. Lovecraft's writings tell of a court surrounding Az, where lesser deities perform an eternal, maddening dance to keep the blind idiot god entertained and asleep. Because in those terrifying moments when Az awakens, the very fabric of reality trembles. An awakened Az would spell the end of everything, as the universe would dissolve into chaos. Now, this being's backstory is in many ways a reflection of Lovecraft's own existential dread and fear of the incomprehensible. It's a stark reminder of the insignificance of humanity in the grand scheme of the cosmos, which, I guess that's a concept that's a common theme in Lovecraft's works. But what makes this being, in particular, so unsettling is the idea that the universe we perceive is just a tiny fragment of a chaotic larger reality. So, it's as if our understanding of the cosmos is this fragile facade, and behind it, this abyss of madness. The terror of Az isn't the malevolence, it's the indifference. Look, in the vastness of the cosmos, our existence inconsequential. Az represents the fear of the unknown, the idea that there are forces beyond our comprehension that could extinguish us without a second thought. So it embodies a Lovecraftian philosophy that humanity's search for knowledge and understanding can lead to madness. The more we delve into the mysteries of the universe, the more we risk encountering entities like this one that defy all logic and reason. So definitely had to look up how to pronounce YIBB-TSTLL today, because when you spell it out, YIBB-TSTLL, kinda confusing. It's a more obscure god. It watches at the center of all time as the universe revolves. Only Yog Sothoth is wiser. Its bodily fluid, called the Black, is a weapon that takes the form of black snowflakes that stick to and smother victims. The god's touch causes an instant change in the person affected, usually fatal, occasionally brings some benefits. With my betting odds, probably not worth the risk. YIBB-TSTLL is visually described as an immobile, dark, tentacled entity with a pulpy alien head, detached eyes, and large bat wings, under which countless night gaunts suck black milk from its innumerable, fleshy milk-producing body parts. Like many Lovecraftian horrors, including her fellow outer gods, the mere sight of this creature can drive humans insane, and even thinking too hard about the monstrous being, that's going to attract its malevolent intent. Here's another doozy of a name, Ghatanothoa. This creature first appeared in the 1935 story Out of the Eons, which was ghostwritten by Lovecraft for another author. Lovecraft presents the monster as a gigantic abomination whose appearance is so hideous that anybody who gazes upon it or its image is petrified into a living mummy. This creature is described as a hellish god or patron demon, brought to Earth in prehistoric times by aliens. They built a colossal fortress atop the mountain Yedith Go in Kana, in the lost continent of Mu, and sealed G, we're gonna call it that for short, below it beneath a vast trapdoor. And yeah, I don't want to say the full name because I don't want to mess it up. When humans arose after the departure of the aliens, they too worshipped the monster out of fear of its rightful power, offering it sacrifices, lest it emerge from its crypt and wreak havoc. Though G is said to be indescribable, it appears to combine aspects of an octopus and an elephant, and it's scaly and wrinkled, while remaining amorphous. Victims of it are permanently immobilized, their skin taking on the consistency of leather. Their internal organs are preserved indefinitely, but the brain is fully aware. So only the destruction of the subject's brain or the application of a magic scroll can free it from its hellish prison, though the unfortunate is likely to be incurably insane long before the welcome to release. G's cult was immensely powerful in Kana, though opposed by the priests at the time. After Mu sunk beneath the Pacific Ocean, traces of its worship could be found in Egypt and many other places in the New World, and in modern times can still be found in the Far East and the Pacific Islands. Lovecraft attributes much of his invented history of G and its followers to the book Nameless Cults, originally created by Robert E. Howard, and other writers have contributed to the lore, which pretty cool. Finally for today, Zalgo is an entity that corrupts webcomics so that they are dark, warped, twisted versions of themselves. So they're commonly associated with madness, death, destruction, fear. Oh, I'm forgetting one. Oh right, the end of the world as we know it. They're an entity living in another dimensional plane, and when they appear in ours, they create chaos, and their mere presence is capable of taking a person towards the vortex of madness. Simply put, this is horror in person, no matter how much you search the internet. You're never going to find a clear answer about what it is. Because Zalgo is something so terrible, there are no words to describe it. He cannot be stopped, just as fear cannot be stopped. It is inseparable from reality, as it exists beyond the veil, waiting. It's an eyeless abomination with 7 mouths. In the right hand, it holds a dead star, and in the left hand, a candle, whose light is shadow. If you don't believe that this can defeat Cthulhu, Well, that's all for today, folks. I've been Alexa, your resident ooky spooky girly. See ya!